Welcome back to WTOP's Beer of the Week. We are joined, as always, by Greg Engert, Beer Director for the Neighborhood Restaurant Group, a James Beard Award nominee. The group includes the Partisan and Red Apron down in Penn Quarter, Red Apron locations, also in Eastern Market, and Merrifield. Also recently opened at right next to the Red Apron in Merrifield, B-Side.
That's right.
Hope that's going well. Greg, it is always good to see you.
Good to see you too.
What do we have on tap this week?
This week we have, a great day for those of us who love hoppy beer. Anytime you see the word Stone and IPA on a bottle, and
the cooler door opens.
Yes, you're going to grab it, especially when it's something you haven't had before. And this one's Stone Delicious IPA, a beer that I've heard about, typically draft only out at the brewery and the World Bistro Gardens in Escondido, that finally made its way to us eastward. And in bottles as well, and it's been tweaked a little bit, so it's got a cool story, this beer. First, let's taste it, though, because I think what you'll find is that it is a classic, hoppy Stone IPA, 7.7%. 80 IBUs or so.
It's herbaceous, right?
Yeah, it does have some.
And here looking on today is WTOP Senior News Director Mike McMurdy. Say hi, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
I knew you'd do that. Excellent. Mike, Beer of the Week was Mike's idea, so small round of applause for him, everybody.
That's why he's, we're opening 2 bottles this week.
And I've totally lost my train of thought. That's good.
Yeah.
How about that?
Well, it's interesting because, like last week we did a stronger, almost barley wine-esque Imperial IPA from Schlafly, their Imperial Topaz, which is delicious. This is more, but it had some sweetness, some malt-driven richness to it, some sweetness from the alcohol. This is much more West Coast style, what we'd expect from Stone. Golden in color, like I said, 7.7% alcohol, nice driving bitterness in the finish. And the story behind this beer goes that Greg Cook, who's one of the founders of Stone, came up with an idea for this name, Delicious IPA, and kind of challenged Mitch Steele, who's the brewmaster at Stone, to use some nuanced hops, some new hops, and create a Stone Delicious IPA. And so I think it's gone through quite a few iterations at the World Bistro on draft. And then the next thing that happened is that they started using El Dorado hops in this beer primarily, and that's what gives it that little bit of herbal dankness in the nose, but also a lemony character, and a newer hop called Lemon Drop that gives it a kind of lemon candy quality. Then you see it's kind of a cleaner citrus note in the nose as well, and then a touch of Calypso for some tropical fruit. So they created this great beer this way, but that's not only what we get for Stone Delicious IPA now. In the interim, before they released it nationally, Mitch was talking to a guy named Chris White, who runs White Labs, a yeast and enzyme company out of California, at the Great American Beer Fest one year, I think, or CBC. And Chris was talking about this chill-proofing enzyme that basically can be used to clarify your beer. But then he also mentioned offhand that this enzyme can also remove a lot of the gluten from your beer. Gluten is the substance that can cause people some problems, notably celiacs who are gluten intolerant, but even others who have a gluten sensitivity. So this tweaked Mitch's interest because his father-in-law had developed a gluten allergy about 4 years prior, and so they started to think about what beer could they introduce this enzyme to make a beer that's deliciously hoppy and exactly what you'd expect from Stone, but also something that one with a gluten allergy could drink, and that's what Delicious IPA is.
I mean, I'd be a liar if I said I was in love with every single beer from any particular craft brewery, but these guys, what are they putting in the water out there? It's just ridiculous.
And it's great.
It's so good.
It's so good. And the great thing here, too, is, I think it's going back to this gluten thing. I mean, this isn't gluten-free. There's a big difference. To make a gluten-free beer, you can't use barley or anything that has gluten in it. You use, like, other kinds of grains, like sorghum, millet, whatever. But there is a way with these enzymes to remove a lot of the gluten. Now, other brewers have made these kind of gluten-reduced beers as well, but they seem to kind of not be just like all the others. And that's what's crazy about this. Like, had I not told you that, you'd be like, this is just a great IPA. Mm-hmm. But somebody who has a touch of gluten allergy can still drink it. And the important thing about this, too, is that it has to do with parts per million. So they've gotten this down to less than 10 parts per million gluten. Some other breweries can get it down to less than 5. So it's not, again, not gluten-free. But if you got a friend out there who's like, I just can't drink beer anymore because it makes my stomach a little queasy, and they used to love hops, this is the one for them.
Christmas, very early this year.
Yeah, seriously, that'd be crazy.
What would you pair it with?
So I think, thinking about the lemony notes that we find here, I could see doing this with fattier kind of fish. So this is anything from grilled salmon, bringing in that lemon, the bitterness to dig into the richness, to, fatty tuna. The rarer, the better. And then fried fish, fish and chips, but also like oyster po' boys, I think would be awesome with this. Crab cakes would be great. So yeah, they're thinking like really fatty fish on their own, or fried, milder fish and seafood. Fantastic with the lemony hop bitterness in this.
The Super Bowl, which is this Sunday, is in Phoenix this year, so very nice and warm. I think I'm going to wait till the Super Bowl's in San Diego, so I can go out and
see, yeah, exactly.
Stone and
these guys. Yeah, totally.
All the other amazing breweries in the San Diego area. Is there, speaking of the Super Bowl, and nothing against yellow fizzy macros, but if you're looking for something different, maybe to drink, session IPAs are a big trend we've seen in the past year. That would be a pretty good compliment.
Totally,
to
absolutely,
the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. And I think the thing that's cool about the session IPA is, like I said, you can go throughout the game and drink them throughout without getting banged up. I mean,
well,
7-8%.
Digital video recorders are for.
Right, that's true. Yeah. In case you don't make it to the second half. But yeah, I think there's a number of great ones. Stone makes a great session IPA that actually can be hard to find because they just can't keep it in stock. It's called Go-To IPA. That's delicious. Founders makes All Day IPA. That's pretty ubiquitous as well. Those are two right off the top of my head that I can see trying to find. There's Daytime IPA from Lagunitas, and hopefully very soon, in fact I know it'll be soon, come this spring, Firestone Walker, maker of some of the best beers in the world, is going to be introducing an extended line of their beers that you can get on the West Coast but we can't get here, and part of that line will be Easy Jack, which is their session IPA, and it is outstanding as well.
Ballast Point, do they make one too?
They do.
Okay.
Even Keel, I believe it's called. But they also make a bunch of just really great. They make Grunion, which is just delicious pale ale. And I'm glad you mentioned that. Ballast Point has started to ship us more and more beer. So it is getting easier and easier to find Sculpin and Big Eye and all the other great things from Ballast Point. So and they're fresher and fresher now because they're coming out more regularly.
And lagers, pilsners, there's so many great things you can drink.
That's totally true.
Be careful during game time. Greg, thank you as always.
Thank you.
Also, everyone, please always do drink responsibly, and be sure to bring your thirst next time for another Beer of the Week.